Hello, this is Dr. Scott Harrington coming to you live from my virtual doctor's office at veganprimarycare.com, where you can see a vegan doctor as your primary care doctor virtually from most U.S. states. If you live in Florida, I'm now open in Pinellas Park on Fridays. Come see me in person or online, but not for just a one-time consultation, but as your primary care doctor, someone who gets to know you, someone who can be your health advocate. Because I'm licensed in most US states, even if you move, you don't have to change doctors. If you're a vegan, then get a doctor who gets you. If you haven't adopted a plant-based diet yet, you're still welcome to be my patient. But beware, diet, exercise, and lifestyle changes will always be my first recommendation. My goal for you is to take control of your health. And through the power of a healthy lifestyle, we will work to heal your chronic conditions and help you get off your chronic medications. Remember that this content is for educational and entertainment purposes only. This video is not intended to take place of your own doctor's advice. Okay, we are live streaming to multiple platforms and ready to take your questions. Okay, all right. So let's see here. I wanted to let you know that next week we will not be doing the live stream for next week. I'll be unavailable, but we'll be picking it up back 1 week after that, so that's all good. If you're on the live stream, go ahead and ask questions. If you come to the live stream late and it's not currently live, you can still ask questions for me to answer later. If you have something that's very detailed about your medical history, please don't put it in the public chat comments. Please reach out to me on Facebook and send the questions through DM, direct message, and I can get back with you. Okay, all right. What I think I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I want to talk a few things about the practice. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can get this set up. All right. Okay, I'm going to click this button and then I can't see what's happening on the screen. So, but basically, as I am a telemedicine provider, but I also see patients in Pinellas Park, that here's all the states that I'm currently active with active licenses. And those are there are some temporary states. These will be going away soon, unfortunately. And then I will be applying for more of the states on the East Coast, but this may take a while. So right now, if you're in one of the green states, that is definitely some place that I can see you over the long term. And another thing I wanted to talk about was the accountability app called the 8 app. If you're not using this, you should. It is so awesome. It's a food logging app that's not complicated. All you do is you take a photo of the food that you're eating, and what it does is it creates a little bit in your mind, a little second thought about whether you should actually eat something. The more you do it, the more successful you are with maintaining on your path of the good food, healthy food. And if you sign up to be one of my patients, what I do is I share my food log, and you would share your food log, and we can work together. And so I can see very detailed reports on what you're eating based on your food log. On Tuesday nights, we have Get to Your Goal weight loss meetings where at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, folks get together in the normal Zoom meeting address, and we all come in, we all get together, and we have a little mixer, and we talk about how the week went with staying on our path of the plant-based diet, and it's for weight loss. Folks who are interested in having a full exam despite being in telemedicine, you can get this Taito Care device. It's a really cool device. You can listen to your heart and lungs, take pictures of your eardrums or your child's eardrum, their throat, and I can get a full exam. And that way you can feel like you get the full exam despite being telemedicine. So that gets through some of the limitations of doing the online care. With the vegan primary care coupon code VPC, you get $75 off a Taito Care device. You can get them at Best Buy or online at taitocare.com. Okay, just wanted to make a couple points here before we start the question and answer session. But this is one thing that I wanted to bring up to my patients, the idea of epigenetics. Epigenetics. Here is, in this picture, you see a picture of a queen bee surrounded by worker bees or drones. And they have the same DNA, but the queen bee was fed royal jelly, and she has different genes are expressed. So the food that we eat, this is sort of an example of how the food we eat plays our DNA like a violin and produces different outcomes. Different proteins and different enzymes are produced with the same blueprint, but it depends on what you eat. So as you know, in the plant-based diet, we're concerned about decreasing problems with vascular illness, such as blood pressure and coronary artery disease, and helping to prevent cancer and these sort of things. Plant-based diet is helpful in preventing cancer, and the animal products that people consume can create environments that increase cancer. So this is the idea of epigenetics. The food we eat plays our DNA like a violin. So here's an example of this. This was a study that was done in Tehran, and they took women who were found to have breast cancer, 100 women with breast cancer, and they compared them to 175 healthy women who had no breast cancer, who they did dietary questionnaires for the people who had the breast cancer and the people who didn't. And they came up with a phytochemical nutrient density scale. And basically the people that ate the most plant-based showed reduced odds of breast cancer. So that was very interesting, kind of proving the point, so to speak. Okay. So let's see, I'm switching back here, to all right. Okay, so I'm out of the presentation style and I'm back on the comments. So I'm ready to discuss the comments here. So that's my dog. That's my dog. His name is Banjo. He's a standard poodle. Okay, Karen Hodgen says, thanks for recommending hibiscus tea. Okay, so this goes to the, what is hibiscus tea and what does it do for you? So the red hibiscus leaves of hibiscus is in several teas that you may have had in the past. That passion Taito tea is made with hibiscus, and it colors the tea very red. And turns out that it is helpful in reducing blood pressure. So when you can steep the leaves in 5 minutes in a boiling water, and it gets a very dense red, and it's very tart, and it's pretty intense. So what you do is you create this hibiscus tea, almost like a thick syrup or thick concentrated tea, and maybe you pour it over ice with some a little bit of sweetener. Some people put cinnamon in it. But it's up to you. That's your business, like Tabitha Brown says. But yeah, people can use this as a sort of medical way to decrease their blood pressure. If you are doing hibiscus tea and you do have blood pressure issues, I recommend that you buy your own blood pressure cuff in case you ever feel dizzy or your blood pressure is high. You want to take control of your health. Having your own blood pressure cuff, they're coming down. The price is coming down. You can get on Amazon and buy one that you put on your own arm for $30 to $50, and you're in control. So that is really cool. All right. Thanks for that feedback, Karen. All right. Rosa Riley says, is there a supplement to stop sugar cravings? Huh. Thanks, Rosa. That's a good question. I don't know if I'm ever going to stop craving sugar. Sugar's delicious, and it's a drug-like food. So I don't think that there is ever a way to stop cravings, other than craving is almost like a memory, almost like a fond memory that you have, and the farther you get away from a food, the less sort of craving that you have from it. And some people, talk about, oh, you're hangry, you're angry, you're stressed, you're tired or something. And these kind of cravings might come in as a comforting kind of thing, trying to self-comfort, self-soothe. And sure, there is aspects of that. So I do recommend, one of the best things for sugar cravings is fruit. Fruit is the ambrosia of the gods. Ripe fruit, in-season fruit. You can have a fruit that tastes okay, but if it's in the height of its ripeness and season, it tastes 100 times better. And it to me, ripe fruit, whether it's a ripe mango or ripe peach or ripe pineapple, or it can soothe any kind of sweet tooth. And so hopefully that helps, Rosa. I don't know any supplement that is specific for this. Trying to reduce cravings. I don't think that cravings will ever 100% go away, because they're a part of our cravings and desire to eat and hunger and stuff like that are kind of, I believe, natural phenomena that help with our survival probably back in the day. Okay, Jacqueline Romando. Be cautious of all teas. Some teas I have wood pulp have caused throat discomfort. As natural as possible, and what you enjoy best. So I guess what Jacqueline's pointing out here is that it is nice to know what's in the teas. And sometimes when you get the tea bags, there might be ingredients that you're not sure of, and that you can get individual ingredients in tea. So for hibiscus tea, you can actually buy individual hibiscus leaves, and so that's it's its own product in its own, and you can see it. So that is pretty safe, I would believe. Okay, thanks, Jacqueline. All right, yeah, my dog was just barking in the back. All right. Okay, so Jacqueline's talking about, I think this might be in relation to the craving comment. Think of fueling your body, not just palate preference. Yeah, so in the stomach there, well, I mean, you have your receptors for taste on your tongue, and then you also have the stretch receptors and kind of nutrient. Your body kind of gets an idea of the nutrient density of the food that you eat as well. So it's important to kind of, if you're trying to lose weight and you're worried that if you're trying to avoid food and trying to if you're trying to not have a high amount of bulky foods, then you may be unsuccessful because you're not dealing with the stretch receptors in your stomach. So that's why on the plant-based diet, the concepts are to eat yourself thin, where you're eating foods on the lower calorie density scale, and they're very bulky and they fill up your stomach. So, I find, eating an apple, some of these apples you see in the store now are really big. They're almost two fistful, eating one apple, it almost fill up your whole stomach. So it's natural foods provide the most bulk with the least amount of calories. And so whole food, plant-based diet is what you want. Thanks, Jacqueline. Okay. All right, let's see here. I'm going to pull up an additional information that I have. Let's see. I'm pulling it up. More slides that we can talk about if there's aren't any new questions. Okay. Okay, we've got Nicole. Nicole, how much should someone who's 5'3" weigh? Do you go off weight charts? I'm always told I need to gain weight, but no matter how much I eat, I don't tend to gain. Okay. All right. Well, Nicole, I'm going to pull up a BMI calculator. All right. So 5'3" is 63 inches, or I could put in 5'3". And let's say you are 100. Let's see. You want to be, okay. BMI is a way to calculate kind of a good weight for you. They find that under 18, 17.5 BMI, this is way too low. Your body starts to break down your own proteins, your own fats, and your organs, and can cause cardiac arrhythmias and all stuff like that. Sometimes people find themselves at this low level, and this is problematic. So, for instance, you want to stay way above, at 5'3", you want to be way above 100 pounds. But as you get up with weight, as weight continues to go up, after about BMI 23, you start to have more increased risk for blood pressure and that sort of thing. And then over 25, you're considered overweight. So for someone who's 5'3", I'm just putting this 124 pounds is BMI 22, and 130 pounds is. 130 pounds is BMI 23. So someone who's 5'3", you want to be, say, maybe in between 110 and 130 pounds. So that's a pretty broad range, and you'll find that you'll kind of have some sort of set point. Most people do, but if you're getting down towards 100 pounds, you need to increase the amount of high calorie density food. Sort of the opposite of what I tell people normally. Normally, I'm telling people to eat, lots of low calorie density foods like roasted vegetables and fruit and starches. But for you, if you're getting way down towards the 100, you need to be eating things like lots of avocados and high nuts and nut butters, and foods like dried fruit and concentrated protein sources like tofu and these kind of things. Nuts, nut butters. Anyway, that's a way to kind of put on weight. Also, if you're having trouble putting on weight as a vegan, you can always make shakes, calorie shakes. They can include plant milks and flaxseed and different things that can increase your nutrients. It's easier to drink your nutrients than it is to chew it, and so that's one thing that people do when they're trying to bulk up. They may include a shake. You don't necessarily need to eat protein shakes. It's just calories. Okay. Thanks, Nicole. Okay. Pretty Angel says, thoughts on the starch solution diet? Okay, starch solution. I love the starch solution diet. Dr. John McDougall. Dr. McDougall has been saying these things since the 80s, and he has not gone off message since the 80s, and he's right on target. And I'm just so impressed. I'm so impressed that someone can give the same message and be basically right the whole time for like 30 years or more 40 years. So yes, the starch solution is a great diet. It's centered all your meals around starches. What this did for me, Pretty Angel, was when people are on an omnivore diet and they say, well, what are you having for dinner? they say, oh, I'm having steak, or I'm having pork chops, or I'm having chicken. And what people all imagine is they imagine the meat and they imagine the little side of vegetables and the little potato. They can imagine it. All they have to say is, I'm having steak. But when you switch to a plant-based diet, you may be kind of confused about what to eat. And one way you got to shift that mindset is, and you center all your meals around the starch. So what are you having for dinner? I'm having pasta. I'm having potatoes. I'm having corn. I'm having rice and beans, something like that. I have a blog that talks about the 7 days of a vegan diet, and we go through different ethnic meals. So Monday is Manja Monday, and Mediterranean food, Italian, Greek, Persian food, that kind of thing. We talk about Taco Tuesday. So tacos and burritos, Hispanic type food for Tuesday. For Wednesday, we talk about Wok Wednesday, Asian food or Indian food, Southeast Asian, Thai, all that stuff is a way to include vegan diet in rice, veggies. Thanksgiving Thursday, which is roasted vegetables, maybe some cranberry sauce. Fun Food Friday or Frozen Food Friday, you can get sort of Amy's meals or Kashi's meals or a variety of frozen meals and bean burgers, these kind of things. Saturday is Social Food Saturday, where it's like picnic style foods. And then Sunday is Soup or Bowl Sunday, where people make vegan chili, vegan minestrone, lentil soup, shepherd's pie with mashed potatoes and lentils. All these things you can do to try to remind yourself what would be a vegan dinner. Because most people know what they're having for breakfast and for lunch. But sometimes that helps with the getting the brain on what's for dinner. Okay, so Nicole says that she's under 110 pounds and it's hard to maintain. So yeah, if you want to basically be eating foods that are higher in calories and include some liquid supplementation just so that you can maintain. There is a spectrum of how we handle fat storage. And some people have skinny genes, literally genes, DNA, where they don't seem to store as much. Those are the people, they tend to eat as much as they want and they never seem to gain, and it can be frustrating for folks trying to lose weight. But then we know that there are people that have genes that are endomorphs, who are a little bit larger. Let's see. Let's pull that up. Endomorphs, right? Higher percentage of body fat. So depending on your genes, you can't control your genes, but you can control your diet. And so if you're one of those people that seems like they can eat whatever they want, you may have to actually eat food that's a little bit more concentrated. All right. Karen Hodgen says, I like the theme meals. All right. Thank you, Karen. Thank you. I find that that's one of the big questions that people have. Like, what do you actually eat? Or I can't believe it. I can't, I would never be able to do that because I would miss this, that, or that. And some of the folks like Dr. Barnard, he gives advice on how people switch to a plant-based diet and talks about making it easy, starting with the foods that you already eat that are plant-based, like whether it's veggie pasta or things like peanut butter and jelly. I mean, that's already plant-based. You don't have to change anything, and including those in your diet. And then thinking about foods that are very close to plant-based that you could switch without much trouble. So like a bean burrito. Bean burrito is already vegan, or if you did spaghetti with meatballs, you just have spaghetti with the marinara sauce and veggies. If you have a stir fry, you just do the rice and veggies without a meat product. You put tofu instead. And that if you really, really miss certain meats and stuff like that, you can try these transition foods. But be careful, because if you are trying to lose weight, some of the transition meats and cheeses can be high in calories. So, okay. What else do we have for questions? What else do we have for questions? All right. I do have a couple of slides here that we can go over. All right, let's try this one. Okay, I'm going to switch over to the sharing. Oh, I can just pull it straight over. There we go. Okay. This one shows, what about exercise? We know that diet and exercise are the cornerstone of a healthy lifestyle. But you'll sometimes hear me talk about how diet is the building blocks for your body shape, and that exercise is for mental health, because it's hard to be depressed or anxious after exercise. And that's true, but obviously exercise is important for injury, being strong, and vitality and injury prevention. But this one is very interesting here. This study was suggesting that when Dean Ornish compared exercise versus diet, that the diet group showed lengthening of the telomeres, and that was suggesting that the diet had a more powerful effect on the anti-aging and health. So that was very, very impressive. All right. So this is another thing I want to show. What this slide shows here is a faucet, and Dr. Greger uses this analogy a lot. I love Dr. Greger. What he says is that you want to treat the cause of disease, that the animal products, the cheese, saturated fat, the cholesterol, all the different problems that are associated with the animal diet are a cause of the disease, and that to take pills and to try to treat these symptoms is like trying to mop the floor instead of just turning off the faucet. When you treat the cause of disease, then your body is going to heal itself. You have to trust the body. The body you cut yourself a big cut, or you break your bones, the body heals itself, and it does what it's naturally supposed to do in the inside the body housekeeping. It takes care of business. But if you continue to injure your body with animal products, that you're going to expect disease in the long run. All right. Okay. If there are any other questions, let me know. Otherwise, I think we're going to wrap it up today. Once again, thanks everyone for coming out and asking questions. And if you need to have a vegan doctor, sign up at veganprimarycare.com. Go to the top right, hit book appointment, and I can be your doctor online or in person. Till next week. Remember, next week we won't be here, and then but in 2 weeks we'll be back on Wednesday at noon. All right. Take care, everybody.